I was looking at some data from the Children's Defense Fund analyzing the most recent census data, and the majority of the children in the United States of America are people of color. Sometimes that still surprises people because the majority of Americans are white, a little over 60%. But over 50% of the children in America are people of color. And that number will only grow. I know that this data point, which is a fact, not a, perspective or opinion, this fact sometimes bothers people. I think the demographic shift that is ongoing in America is causing numerous policy and social changes. However, regardless of what happens with big shifts in our immigration policy, I think it is most likely that the majority of the children in America will still be people of color. And right now in America, there are 11 million undocumented people. But even if the most strict and onerous anti-immigration policies take effect and begin to be implemented, there is no way that they will effectively deport 11 million people and keep them out. Even if they are successful in deporting 1 million people, which would be a very high bar and difficult to do, it'll still likely be offset by more immigration and by the fact that there are higher birth rates in people from communities of color. And it likely will not have any meaningful impact on the fact that the majority of America's children are people of color. And in the future, what that means is that the majority of America will be people of color. Now that's all groups combined: Black, Native American, Latino, and so forth. And ultimately, what that really means is that all Americans will have a racial minority experience. And I know the idea of being a racial minority might be terrifying for some people, but it needn't be. I'm Native American. I have experienced stresses and even traumas just over the accidents of my birth. But I also find America a wonderful place to live. And there's no reason why we couldn't all get along. In fact, the US Constitution, among other things, has an incredible line where it says that we are supposed to, quote, protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority. In other words, whoever's in the majority will often exercise power to sculpt laws, policies, practices, procedures that will be to the benefit of their particular group. But the Constitution acknowledges that this can come in the form of oppression. And as a result, there are protections written into the Constitution to protect people from minority groups. Since all people from all groups will have a minority experience, those protections will be there for everyone. And although I think it's pretty obvious that those protections have not been sufficient to stop slavery, Jim Crow, or any number of other oppressive policies, that when we exert our will collectively to hold that part of our Constitution up, that it is well within our power and the legal means right before us to make sure that America does a better job of living up to its foundational promise. Thank you.